Hey, my name is Aries and I am documenting my journey to get fit-ish. For the past month, I've been prescribed Mounjaro, which is a Glp-1 tirzepatide, and that is finally making this journey feel achievable. For years, I have been battling everything and anything to try and get back to a body that I love and feel comfortable in. Pre-pandemic, I was living an amazing lifestyle, running half marathons, working out daily, eating healthy foods, but not having to worry about it. And it was all just working. And then the pandemic hit and life happened. And if you want to know the whole story, I have a whole YouTube channel. You can watch me get bigger. Which was never the intent. It was never the goal. I was trying desperately with no real success. I just gained and lost the same 10 to 15 pounds and usually ended up, eventually creeping up. So when I started this journey, I had reached out and was working with a dietitian, and she had a moment where, after looking through all of my food logs and hearing what I do daily for workouts and how hard I've been trying, she looked at me and said, "Everything that you're doing is what I would tell someone to do." And it was kind of a breaking point for me, because how do you continue down the same path hoping for a different result? That's the definition of insanity. And it was what finally made me seriously consider different alternatives, and that maybe I needed help from a different source. And my doctor agreed, and that's when I was prescribed Mounjaro. I am a month in, and all I can say is I wish I started this sooner. I used to eat healthy foods. I used to eat in a good balance. I didn't exclude anything, but I also didn't, go overboard in anything. Although now that I've been on this medication for a month, maybe my portion sizes were too big. I don't know. Something wasn't working. But now I'm finally feeling like I have some sort of control over my body again, over my mind, over life. And that is worth so much more than what the scale says. I am having non-scale victories that I haven't even considered would be non-scale victories. And it's only been a month, and I can't wait to see where this takes me. And if you don't know what I mean, this sweater is a non-scale victory that I can attribute to this month, because it is thick. This sweater is thick and cozy and delicious and so nice to put on. But before, I have tried on sweaters like this, and because I felt frumpy and lumpy and large underneath it, adding on a thick layer over top of that made me feel gigantic. But I'm wearing this sweater with confidence. Now, granted, sitting down in front of a camera that adds 10 pounds, I don't know if it's given the same vibes as I was hoping it would, but I just wore it out of the house for the day, and I'm wearing it with leggings, and I feel like a normal body with a thick sweater on, instead of feeling like a stuffed sausage that's now taking up the whole room. And for anybody who's never had to struggle with a feeling like that over something, maybe you'll never understand what I'm saying. But for anybody who's been even remotely in those shoes like I have, I I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you get that moment, that feeling too, at some point, somewhere with something, because it is so freeing being able to put on a sweater like this and not just feel comfortable, but feel good and confident in it is just mind-blowing. And it's little things like that that this journey, this prescription has given me. And I'm trying to put it into words, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully put that into words, because it's just mind-blowing. So I'm very, very, very grateful for this journey, for feeling like I'm getting myself back, and for, sure, the wins on the scale as well, but it's not just about that. I know I've been talking about it in my recap videos, but that's mostly just because it is a stat that's easy to share, and it's easy to track and keep a journal of, I guess. But in the grand scheme of things, it's these moments. It's buying a sweater like this and being confident. It's getting in a squat and being able to squat way further down. It's waking up in the morning and being able to walk to the bathroom without limping because my joint pain is gone. It's only having to reach for the Gaviscon once a week instead of nightly. It's like so many things. Not being out of breath, wanting to do physical things, like not needing to take rest days like I used to, enjoying my workouts, and even the food I'm eating is, it's different. I've had to adjust what I'm doing, but it's that mental game that was happening before isn't there. And that is incredibly freeing and a very amazing place to be in. And so I wish I would have started this sooner. So if you are sitting at home and you're questioning, do I do this? Do I don't do this? And you've talked to a medical professional and they have said, hey, I think this is good for you, and has, said either here's your prescription and you've got it in the fridge waiting, or, when you're ready, let's do this and I'll give you a prescription. Do this. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I wish I didn't care about the stigma that came around this sooner, because anybody who wants to judge you for using a tool like this to get your life back, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care who they are, what relation they are to you. Feeling like this after only 1 month, go ahead. Hate how I've done it. Go ahead, judge me. I don't care, because I tried so hard for so many years. And I haven't been able to feel like this ever in all of that. And I want more people to be able to feel like this. I'm trying really hard not to fully cry. So that's just my pre-ramble on how this month has made me feel and some of the non-scale victories that have come along with that. Along the vein of clearing up mental space, I have noticed that the drug does take away the food noise. It stops you from craving food. It stops you from that seeing an ad and then wanting to eat something. It stops you from when you're trying to decide what to have for dinner, of just picking the easy option, because you can think about food logically. So it really does help break things down, and it gets rid of all that clutter, and it's just like a logical choice that you get to make without, that gremlin on your shoulder pushing you to have the sweets or it doesn't even have to be sweets. Like sometimes it's just the indulgent meal. So that's gone with the drug, but I've realized, and I'm really curious if anybody else has felt this way or not, but I feel like I am now imposing a new food noise. And I don't know exactly what to call it, but it almost feels like it's a GLP-1 noise. And it's self-made, but everyone so stresses that you have to have your protein, and you got to eat enough, and you got to have fiber. And now I find that I'm so focused on, does that have protein in it? Am I going to get my protein goals? Like, I'm creating my own food noise by trying to make sure everything's perfect, right? By focusing on, having protein first, which is great, which is good, and it's supposed to be like that, but I'm just wondering if I'm now creating a new food noise because I'm so worried about not getting enough protein in the day that it's like it's a new thing that's running in my head and creating mental I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But in realizing this, I think what I'm going to need to do is take a step back and just focus on good food. Yes, protein is important, and yes, I will be striving to get it. But if I'm craving a salad, it's okay to just have a salad. I don't have to worry about putting protein on it. I mean, should I? Sure. But if I don't have any available, I'm not going to beat myself up because I made a good choice on having salad, but I didn't, put protein first, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it's all, I don't know. That's just something I've been thinking about. So I just wanted to see if anybody else kind of felt that same way. So as for the actual month, I kind of touched on it, that a lot of things have been very positive. Side effects, very minimal. At the beginning, there was a bit of burpy, gas, every time I ate, but that has subsided in the last 2 weeks. I maybe have a slight amount of constipation, but I'm going every other day, usually, maybe at most every second day. But coming from being told I have IBS before starting this and having to go multiple times a day, having to go within minutes of eating any food, being terrified to eat anything if I was, needed to drive a car somewhere. Coming from that world of extreme mental strain and craziness, going every other day now feels like an absolute win. So some people might say that that's not normal, but for me, it's great. And I get to celebrate when I have a movement. Whereas before it was no, not another one. And then, that's it really. I do a dry mouth a day or two after I take my shot. That's it. So super happy with that. I have done my 5th shot, which was Sunday night before going to sleep. And that was my first one at the 5 milligram. And so I'm excited to see how that goes. But as for results for the month as the scale pertains to things, because I've already talked about the real results that matter. When I started this month off, I weighed in at 240.2 pounds. And on Monday morning, I weighed in at 227.2 pounds. So that is a monthly loss of 13 pounds. Now, Sunday morning when I weighed in, I was 1.3 pounds less than I was Monday morning. And that was because I think it's because I ended up eating a meal very late at work than before coming home and doing the new shot and going to bed. So there was some fluctuations throughout the week, and at one point my monthly total was greater than it is now, but that's okay because it's not all about the scale. I feel fantastic. The numbers will number how they number, and that's okay. So I just wanted to like highlight that, you know, just because you're one, like if you are only weighing yourself one day a week, don't get caught up on what that number says, because literally the day before I was a pound, 1.3 pounds lighter. So you could have just gotten that up day instead of the other ones that were down, which is why, like, I don't know, it's like whose line is whose line is it anyways? You know, the points don't matter and it's all made up or whatever. So yeah. And then I was finally able to do photos. I sent it to a friend because I was like, am I seeing this right? And she had the same reaction. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna show you. These are the month photos comparisons. Now, in these photos, I am completely relaxing my stomach muscles. During life, if you see me out in the wild, I am sucking and tucking, and everything is in. So these photos, everything is out. I am relaxing. I am letting it all hang, and you can see the hang. So if you're like looking, if you know me in person and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize you were that big, that's because I do a very good job at trying to hide that in real life, in the world, in the outsides. So most of the time I am sucking in completely. For these photos, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be relaxed and be able to track everything fully. So yeah, these are all for angles, and I am very, very happy with how that is, because I think that tells a bigger story than just the 13 pound. I'm not even going to say just the 13, because 13 pounds is wild. That's amazing. I am not at all upset about that. It is, sorry, please don't come at me in the comments. I think the photos do a bigger representation of the changes that have happened this month. And I am very, very happy with that. And I'm excited to see where that goes. So yeah, that's the month. As for like supplements or anything, my doctor prescribed me a multivitamin, and I do a multivitamin daily. I do a like cordyceps for helping reduce cortisol. I have B12 drops that I do every other day. I do vitamin D, magnesium bisglycinate. I'm sorry. There is omega-3s that I do every other day. And because I don't have a gallbladder, my doctor prescribed me, oh my goodness, what is it called? Creon, to do with every meal. So I have to do, that with every like larger meal, which is not always easy because sometimes I can't do large meals. But anyways, I try and do it 3 times a day to help with digestion, to help the fact that I don't have a gallbladder anymore. And then I have added in a electrolyte with a collagen drink in the morning. And so that's what I'm doing as like a supporting regiment to help along with, everything else. So that's where the month is. And I'm super excited. I want to thank everybody who's been joining me for this journey. The advice, the support, the everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just a side note, if I look really haggard, it's because I just did a workout and I was trying to just kill two birds, one stone while I was down in the gym. So bear with me. But yeah, I think I'm just rambling now because I enjoy talking to you guys. But I'm sure you don't want to just hear this over and over again. So I will end it here. I will catch you next week with a update on my first week of 5 milligrams. And I am so thankful that you're here. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic week, and can't wait to see you soon. Bye.